3-hour premiere event, Monday, September the 22nd. I jumped the gun on the promo, John. What can I tell you? Out of format. Bouncing ball. Bobbled, recovered up at the 30-yard line by Kevin Booth. By the way, John, Heroes, a new season will begin Monday, September the 22nd. There you go.
I just heard that somewhere.
Double promo. I was just rehearsing it. Good show, big hit, coming your way in a couple of weeks. Giants Stadium in East Rutherford. One more season here, and across the parking lot, the Giants and Jets will go to the new digs.
I was really surprised how close it was.
Yeah.
You know, as you look at the building, it's darn near touching this one.
And about halfway finished with construction as the Giants leave the field with a 16-7 halftime margin. So Bob and Chris with the first half analysis. Brian Williams with a live report from the Republican National Convention. Coming up, but first, these messages from your local NBC station.
This season, no one is safe.
What do I control? I don't control the bumps and the bruises, the crowd, or who covers me. I don't control the bounces, the shootout order, or for that matter, what happens outside the rink. There are a lot of things in life I don't control. But then again, there are some things that I do.
College football is back on NASN, and we've got a live interconference matchup. The Sunshine State goes to battle in Gainesville as the Hurricanes and the Gators renew an old rivalry. Live college football, Miami versus Florida, this Saturday, only on NASN.
And Yankee fans are like oil and water. Cubs and White Sox fans at the same dinner table? Bad idea. Despite their differences, fans do have one thing in common. Their heroes all wear Majestic Athletic, the official uniform supplier for all 30 Major League Baseball teams. Available now all over Europe at NASN.com.
Long drive. It is out of here. Beck Burrow with a two-run game-winning home run. Can you believe it? What a tremendous ending to this game. The Bills drop their last strike and Burrow delivers.
Franz, happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday Franz Beckenbauer, happy birthday to you. So what would you most like for your birthday?
Well, it would be nice to turn the lights off and bring in a cake, but seriously, if ESPN Classic were to play all the games in my whole career, which were the best ones, that would make me very happy.
And so we make his day with an evening dedicated to the Kaiser at his very best. Happy birthday, Beckenbauer. The 11th of September on ESPN Classic.
Monday Night Football is back on NASN with a live doubleheader. First up, an NFC matchup as the Vikings square off against the Packers at Lambeau Field. Then longtime rivals hit the gridiron as the Broncos take on the Raiders. Coverage starts with ESPN's Monday Night Countdown. Live NFL, only on NASN.
First regular season game, a season that will culminate in a Super Bowl for us at NBC, and by and large in this first half, Chris, the Super Bowl champions looking like it.
Sure are. We want to point out they're not booing us at this point. We don't think.
I'm not so sure, but...
Yeah, they really are. Eli Manning's just had a tremendous first half, no question about it. And, of course, the big question was about this defense of the New York Giants as well. Could they get the kind of pressure? But what we saw in the first half was Jason Campbell helped them a lot. In this offense, unlike Joe Gibbs' offense, they don't have the protection schemes in. Only 5-man protecting. He has to get the ball out, on time, throw it. First play, took the sack. Later in this half, we saw him start to make the quick reads, come up with the touchdown pass to Santana Moss. So Jason Campbell just has to do a better job with this offense, and he got better at the end of the half.
So Eli Manning and company leading 16-7. Meanwhile, Big Brother Peyton featured on NBC Sunday night against the Bears. He didn't take a single preseason snap, but they say he's set to go.
Yeah, I talked to the people from the Colts today, and they said that the Peyton Manning watch is now officially over. He's ready. He's there. He practiced in its entirety today, and he's going to be ready to go for Sunday night in the Bears.
Now, the last time the Bears faced the Colts, a couple of seasons ago in the Super Bowl, Rex Grossman was their quarterback. Now he's the backup to Kyle Orton in between. The Bears had a season where they went 7-9. Can Orton make a difference?
I think he can. Remember, he played a lot as a rookie, and then he had a few years basically to sit and watch. I went back and watched some of the tape on him during the course of this preseason. He looks really sharp. I think the Chicago Bears defense or offense is going to have a definite uptick. Devin Hester now playing a little wide receiver. Should be fun to watch.
All right, Chris, we'll see you on Sunday night. Meanwhile, after this commercial break, we'll check in with Brian Williams at the Republican National Convention in St. Paul for the latest from there. We're back in a moment.
Major League Baseball continues on NASN with more live midweek matchups. First up, the A's travel to Motor City to face the Tigers. Then in the National League, the Marlins and Phillies battle as the playoff races tighten. Live midweek baseball only on NASN.
Good evening.
We're playing San Diego. 2 catches, 2 touchdowns, and puked in between. And that's when I knew it.
I felt like I was playing with little kids and I was a grown man, like Superman.
I ran the fastest 40 at the camp, and I was still 15 years old. So that's when I knew I was gonna be pretty good. Oh yeah.
Understandably, Jim Zorn very frustrated with his team's offensive performance, but he told me Jason Campbell has to read the defense, not just pick one receiver and stick with him, and he cannot be intimidated by the Giants' pass rush. He was encouraged by the touchdown at the end of the half, but as for Plexico Barris running free, he said they've got to double their coverage, but that is reliant on getting a pass rush going. As for Tom Coughlin, frustrated, very angry. He said our kickoff coverage is lousy. We can't continue to give them the ball at midfield.
And he's angry because they had a 16-0 lead and were dominating, and that Rock Cartwright run back put Washington in a position to score. Meanwhile, Campbell is 2 out of 6 for 25 yards. Talking about Burris, and Burris running free, 7 catches, 98 yards, John.
I think maybe it even started a little before that for Tom Coughlin. I felt when they had the ball and they had the 13-0 lead that maybe they got a little satisfied, maybe they got a little conservative, and then they got that 16, and then they get the run back, and then all those things happen. So I don't know that it just happened on the kickoff. I think maybe, you know, the play a little let down on offense, a little conservative on offense, then those other things happen.
Yeah, I think he's a little frustrated with the fact that they had a near perfect opening drive, and then they had 3 pretty good drives going, and they just bogged down, and they had to set up a Carney field goal.
Right, and they had them down. I mean, they had the Redskins down, and the Redskins didn't have much life or weren't showing much life, and then they gave them life right at the end of the half, and now we'll see if they can carry that over.
And Washington will get the ball as we start the second half. One new rule change this year, by the way, on the coin toss, as in college, you can defer. In other words, get your choice to start the second half. That wasn't the case tonight. The Giants won the toss, elected to receive, and so the Redskins get the second half kickoff. John Carney will send it toward the south end zone. Here's Rock Cartwright. He of that 50-yard return before the half, and this time he is taken down with a flag thrown. Jarris Wilkinson, Giant outside backer.
Personal foul. Illegal block below the waist by the kicking team, number 53. 15-yard penalty. Washington keeps the ball, first down.
You know, that's usually the wedge buster. You see the wedge here, and if you come down and you go below the knees on the wedge, which they did right there, that's a penalty, and that's where that cutting comes in on the coverage team.
Brian Keel, rookie out of BYU. So
yeah, and that's one of those things that, you know, that if you're going to take on the wedge, by rule, you have to take on the wedge high, and that's not a very good deal sometimes.
He's being reminded of that right now.
Yeah, but if you take it on too high, you come out looking at your ear hole.
From the 34-yard line. Going straight up the middle is Clinton Portis. Gain of 3. Good start for the Giants tonight. An 11-play, 84-yard drive. Manning scoring the 3rd touchdown of his career. Brandon Jacobs, the big bull, for 11 carries, 74 yards. Burris, a big first half. 7 receptions for 98 yards. And then it was Moss who was able to get into the end zone for Washington at the end after they didn't even have a first down until late in the half, apart from a penalty. And here is Kiwanuka swallowing Portis up.
Well, you better, if you're going to run to the right away from Kiwanuka, you better keep him backside and block him backside. In fact, Cooley is trying to do that, but he just beats him to the spot. I mean, there's a lot of guys that you can run away from and you don't have to block them on the backside. Kiwanuka is one of those guys that you better block on that backside. You know, the first guy that was that way that I can remember was Lawrence Taylor. I mean, you know, put 2 on Lawrence Taylor when they would run away from him.
3rd and for 6 DBs, and we're done here. Campbell out of the shotgun. Pressure from the outside. Kiwanuka gets there, but he gets the pass away. And Moss is able to come up with the ball, but he was tackled. He loses his helmet, and Corey Webster with the coverage on the play. The Giants are saying no. One official came in and said yes. The reception was good, but the tackle was made, and that will be short of the first down if indeed they rule it a reception.
And he led him right into Corey Webster, who was playing a zone. You lead it away from one guy in the zone and lead him to the other. There he is right here, and you see he's going to run it out.
Pass is complete. 4th down.
You see Corey Webster came off. He was zoning. He came off, and he took away that out. And a good tackle to stop getting the first down.
Even though Webster thought it was an incomplete pass, walking away as if it wasn't even complete.
And Santana Moss knew it was complete, but he didn't know where Webster came from. He thought he had man coverage, and he was running away from man, but he was running into a zone.
Durant Brooks, rookie out of Georgia Tech, with a floating wobble that has backspin on it, and is fielded at the 26-yard line by Webster, who takes it back up to about the 28. So the Giants on offense for the first time of the half when we come back, 16-7.
Sports action online 24/7. Don't miss a minute of your favorite sports wherever you are, whenever you want it. Get the latest news, highlights, and analysis. Live game coverage. Simply choose a package to suit you to watch the NHL or NCAA football live online this season. Go to espn360.com and watch live sports online 24/7 now.
He's going to go long for Beckham. Got it! All the way down to the 19-yard line. What a throw and catch that was.
Travis Beckham along the back of the end zone, a 28-yard touchdown reception.
Wide open Beckham makes the catch. Touchdown, Wisconsin.
Franz, happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday Franz Beckenbauer, happy birthday to you. So what would you most like for your birthday?
Well, it would be nice to turn the lights off and bring in a cake, but seriously, if ESPN Classic were to play all the games in my whole career, which were the best ones, that would make me very happy.
And so we make his day with an evening dedicated to the Kaiser at his very best. Happy birthday, Beckenbauer. The 11th of September on ESPN Classic.
describe it. New York, Philadelphia, Washington, and Dallas in the NFC East. The Giants have the ball at the 28-yard line. Brandon Jacobs is the running back, lined up behind Hedgecock, the fullback, who provides the leverage as Jacobs then takes it to the 30, only for a gain of 2, making it 2nd down and 8 for New York. Joe Bugle, long-time assistant coach, and he was the head man at Oakland and Arizona. Coached the Hogs through the years, the offensive line.
He's coaching the running game here. In fact, we mentioned this before, but when Jim Zorn came, he brought the West Coast offense passing game, but kept the same running game for the Redskins. And Joe Bugle, the offensive line coach, is the guy that installs the running game.
Manning stepping up, moving forward, hits Jacobs, complete, just short of the first down. And it will be 3rd down and 1. Fletcher and Dowdy in on the stop.
I wonder if Dowdy's enjoying this.
I doubt it.
When he gets there, he's that second guy too. I mean, you see the pattern. He runs a check through, then he goes out to the left. Now watch him finish off Dowdy there. I mean, Dowdy is coming into him. Watch, when he ends up, he is turned the other way. He's trying to grab his head and can't find it.
He's playing in the heavyweight division, but he's a welterweight next to this guy. 3rd and 1. Jacobs again, and he has enough to pick up the first down before Fletcher falls on top of him. That'll move the change, and the Giants have a first down at their own 39-yard line.
You know, one of the things that has impressed me is that Jason Taylor is playing as much as he did. He was out here in the pregame, and you know, they didn't know it was going to be a game time decision. They didn't know if he was going to play or not. He tried a brace on, took the brace off, and I don't think he's even playing with a knee brace tonight.
Well, here he is. He's got a tape job, if nothing else. He lines up over McKenzie. First down from the 39-yard line.
This is a tough thing for him. I mean, he's naturally a right defensive end playing left defensive end.
They just do get the play off, and the pass is wobbly and deflected and incomplete. Carlos Rogers, number 22, as Manning just did get the snap off before the play clock expired and almost has it picked.
I think the Redskins are saying, if that's what you're going to do to us, if you're going to bring the pressure, you're going to bring the blitz, we're going to bring the blitz on you. And that time they made Eli throw the ball where he didn't have an open guy. I don't know if Plexico Burress was ready for it, or I mean, he sure wasn't open, and he didn't have much else to go to.
2nd down and 10. Toomer left, Burress right. Drifting back across the middle, and that's incomplete. So Washington able to put enough pressure on Hedgecock, the intended receiver. It'll be 3rd down.
You know, Kareem McKenzie, the right tackle here, 67, has been doing a good job of staying with Jason Taylor. I mean, good job of run blocking, but also pass protection.
Manning tremendous on 3rd down against the Patriots back in February, and tonight very effective. 5 attempts, 4 first downs on 3rd down passes. Here he is again trying to convert on the 3rd and 10, and this time he can't. So all of a sudden the Redskin defense looks a lot different at the outset of the second half, intended for Smith, and the Giants will punt for the first time in the game.
Right, and the Giant offense doesn't have that same pace. And again, I think they lost it just before the end of the first half, and they haven't gotten it back.
Jeff Fiegels, his 21st year in the league. He was the oldest player in the league until they signed Carney the other day. So at the age of 42, Fiegels sending it to the corner with a directional kick, and that will go out of bounds at the 15-yard line. Redskins with the ball. Giants with the lead, 16-7.
Monday Night Football is back on NASN with a live doubleheader. First up, an NFC matchup as the Vikings square off against the Packers at Lambeau Field. Then longtime rivals hit the gridiron as the Broncos take on the Raiders. Coverage starts with ESPN's Monday Night Countdown. Live NFL, only on NASN.
For Wilson baseball gloves and much more, visit NASN.com.
For live commentary, news and stats, scrum.com. Instant rugby, anywhere.
NASN brings you the very best MLB coverage, including the playoffs and the 2008 World Series. Major League Baseball, only on NASN.
Lansdale, Michaels, John Madden, Andrea Kramer, opening night of the season, 16-7, the Giants on top. 10:06 remaining here in the third quarter. And the Redskins take possession at the 14 on first down. Portis, big hole, big run. And Portis, who led the league in carries last season, is all the way out to the 37-yard line behind Randy Thomas, pulling and leading the way. And for Clinton Portis, out to his own 39, a 22-yard gain.
Right, here's Randy Thomas right there. He's a right guard. He pulls to the left. He comes and kicks out. Portis cuts off it and then cuts back. The play was going to be a kick out on the left side. He didn't get all the way to his puller, and then he just kept cutting back.
They give it to him again, and he gets taken down as he goes through the middle. Brian Keel making the stop. You don't see the player not lecturing the coach, but telling.
Well, he's coaching the coach.
Yeah,
is what he's doing. He said, "Here's what we can do. This is what their defense is doing, and I think we can get this on them." And then they come back with 2 Portis runs in a row.
And Zorn was a willing listener. 2nd and 6. Campbell stepping up with that good shoulder move. And that buys time. And then he goes deep downfield, and it's almost intercepted by Aaron Ross with brilliant coverage on Santana Moss.
Yeah, that's when you really know you're a cover guy, or you really have to be a cover guy when a quarterback has this much time, and you have to cover all these moves. It's a stop and go. It's still not there. It's still not there. It's still not there. Oh, here it is. That is coverage. That's being on an island. That's staying with your guy the whole time and making a play on the ball at the end.
3rd and 6 up at the 41-yard line. And that is caught by the rookie Devin Thomas, but he stopped shy on the first down. They picked him in the 2nd round out of Michigan State. He was their top draft choice. They traded their number 1 pick. Big receiver, 6'1", 220 out of Michigan State, makes his first pro catch.
Again, the Giants are bringing their pressure, and they're coming right from that left side, and they make him get rid of the ball, but Devin Thomas still should have gotten up, gotten the first down. He should have known where the first down marker was. He could have taken another step or 2 and still caught that pass for a first down.
Brooks wearing out his leg tonight. Fair catch call for made at the 19-yard line by McQuarters. 7:59 to play in the third. Scoreless second half to this point. Giants on top by 9.
Major League Baseball continues on NASN with more live midweek matchups. First up, the A's travel to Motor City to face the Tigers. Then in the National League, the Marlins and Phillies battle as the playoff races tighten. Live midweek baseball only on NASN.
A lot of room in right center. If he hits one there, we can dance in the streets. The 2-1. Swung line drive left field. One run is in. Here comes Bream. Here's the throw to the plate. He is safe. Braves win. Braves win. Braves win. Braves win. The Atlanta Braves are National League champions again. This crowd has gone berserk. Listen, Sid Bream at the bottom of a huge pile at the plate. What a ball game.
Adrian Peterson, he takes it from his own 9.
I have not seen that kind of speed, that kind of acceleration, that kind of size, that kind of strength in one running back, maybe ever in my lifetime.
They hand it off to Adrian, cuts back to the left of the 35. Now he speeds through the defense, and Adrian Peterson is gone!
Now from the 20-yard line before the first snap, we already have action up front with Seibert.
False start, offense number 69, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Rich, 8th year out of Western Illinois. As we mentioned before, the Giants with the same 5 offensive linemen starting every game last season.
Tough guys, 5 tough guys, and probably the best of the bunch is the right guard, Chris Snee. You know that the Giants only had 1 player last year in the Pro Bowl, O.C. Umanura. And I think that this next year they're going to have some more of these guys go to the Pro Bowl.
On first down and 15, and that catch is made up at the 29-yard line by Plaxico Burress. You know, one reason, John, is they do the Pro Bowl voting before the end of the regular season. Well, the last time we saw the Giants here on a Sunday night, they had lost to Washington 22-10. They looked like they were dead. They had to go to Buffalo the next week in a windstorm, fell behind 14-0, but won that game. Then came back, and despite losing to the Patriots, played that magnificent game that night, and into the playoffs they went.
To me, that was where it all started for the Giants in that last regular season game against the Patriots, and the way they played them.
Jacobs on a 2nd and 1 with a gain of about 16 before Andre Carter, the defensive end, runs down the field to tackle him from behind.
Yeah, I was just talking about Chris Snee, and in the play before he had a good pass protection. Right here, he just gets on his guy and he just stays with him. I mean, he makes good contact there, and then he finishes. Stays with him, holds a little maybe, and lets Brandon Jacobs get by. But you know, I mean, these guys not only control the line of scrimmage, they dominate the line of scrimmage.
Rolling left against the grain. Manning throwing downfield, and that's going to be picked off at the 36-yard line by Fred Smoot. So he overshoots the receiver. Andre Carter that time put the pressure on Manning and hits him as he threw it, intended for Kevin Boss and intercepted by Fred Smoot.
That was a big play by Andre Carter, 99. You see, they're trying to bootleg or get around him. He gets out here, and he puts the pressure on Eli. Not only the pressure, but he put the hit on Eli just as he was throwing the ball. But on that play on a bootleg, you try and fool that defensive end. You try and get him to follow the run to the right, and then you bootleg around him on the left. That one didn't fool Andre Carter.
Carter's been to the rodeo before. Big play.
He was the guy that made it.
6.5 to go in the 3rd. From the 36-yard line now. They'll start this with Clinton Portis chugging through the middle for a gain of 3. Eli barking at himself. Manning last year 20 interceptions during the regular season, tied for 2nd most in the league, but only 1 in the 4 postseason games. Actually, it was tied for the league in picks at 20 last year.
And again, this is one thing the Giants have really been dominating the Redskins. You let them hang in there, and then you give them a kickoff return, and you give them another play here, and pretty soon they're back in this game.
Portis, 41-yard line. Washington on the ground tonight. I mean, through the air, Campbell has only attempted 9 passes, and they run the ball 17 times.
We were talking about Kiwanuka, but watch Justin Tuck in the way he makes this play here. I mean, he starts up the field, sees that it's not coming to the outside, and then folds underneath and makes the play. They could help Jason Campbell out here. Jim Zorn could let him throw on second down instead of this situation.
3rd and 5. Deep drop, steps up, throws, completes it, but well short of the first down. Needed 5, got about 2. Kiwanuka smacks Portis to the turf, and the frustration right there on the face of Clinton.
Watch Portis the way he chips, though. I mean, he is a tough guy. Watch him right there. I mean, now when you draw up a chip block, that is a chip block. Watch that. Boom. I mean, that's just unloading, decleating, and putting the guy flat on his back. That's why I love Clinton Portis.
Picked by Brooks. The Porter's at the 14-yard line, and the coverage is perfect. Racing down the field was Rock Cartwright to make the tackle. Still a 9-point game.
The NFL is back, and NASN brings you a live doubleheader. The Brett Favre era begins for New York as the Jets take on the Dolphins. Then the Cowboys step into the dog pound to battle the Cleveland Browns. Coverage begins with ESPN's Sunday NFL Countdown. This Sunday only on NASN.
Looks like a power play, huh, Mike? Sure does. ESPN 360. Wherever and whenever you're online, you're at the game.
NASN is giving you the chance to choose which live game you want to see with an MLB viewer's choice. See the Twins face off against the Rays in Tampa Bay, the White Sox battle the Yankees in New York, or catch the Phillies fight for a win against the Braves in Atlanta. Choose which game you want to see and visit NASN.com now to cast your vote. A Major League Baseball viewer's choice. Watch the winning game live on September 18th, only on NASN.
Yes, it's a glove. It's a baseball glove.
For Wilson gloves and much, much more, visit NASN.com, your home for North American sports merchandise.
Football Extra. From the 13-yard line, a first down for the New York Giants. In a scoreless second half. Derek Ward is the running back. Manning hands the ball to Ward, who picks up 2. Second down 8. We go to Andrea.
Well, guys, it's very humid down here and about 80 degrees, only 7 degrees cooler since the start of the game. And Giants cornerback Corey Webster had some cramps, so they took him in the locker room for an IV, and they're just watching both sidelines because it continues to get very hot and humid down here.
It was 87 at game time. I think 90 in Manhattan today as the maximum temperature. So a hot night in the Apple is reflected on that pan.
Well, you know, these guys, they play like a quarter in preseason games, and then the regular season breaks out and they have to play the whole game.
Second down and 8. That'll be a gain of 7 for Ward as he goes to the middle. Up to the 23-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 1 for the Giants.
And, you know, they roll in the running backs and they roll in the receivers and they, you know, change the tight ends. But I've been talking about these offensive lines. You know, that's one group that they don't. And, you know, and you say if we have to, you know, substitute every other position and roll again, why don't we roll offensive linemen? Offensive linemen are the type of guys that you just let them play and you don't even look at them. You don't even look.
And normally teams only carry 7, so you have 2 subs, maybe an 8, as opposed to the defensive line where sometimes they carry as many as 9. 3rd and 1, and that is caught by Steve Smith, who makes the catch, and that'll be a 1st down. Under 3 minutes to play now in the 3rd quarter.
I mean, Steve Smith has become a big, you know, a big 1st down guy. I mean, he just knows how to run patterns, and Eli was talking about him the other day that he can run those inside, those slot patterns, those option patterns, and you can see here he just has a feeling as an outside receiver to get up enough where you get that 1st down, and then if the ball is completed, you know, have you enough yardage for the 1st down.
Played at U.S. during the regular season a lot, but really came on when he got healthy in the playoffs. And that pass is caught by Ward. Ward is out of bounds at about the 37-yard line, covered on the play by Smoot, and a flag is down. And we also have a player down. We have Fred Smoot, who's hurt. So already banged up in the secondary, and Smoot writhing in pain.
Once he learns how to win, he's going to be really tough to beat.
Coming to the checkers over here. Kyle Busch, you are the man, baby. You are the man.
Kyle Busch wins the Dodge Challenger 500. Kyle Busch, tame the Monster Mile.
Checkered flag in the air for Kyle Busch. He wins at Sonoma.
I think we got it. That's ours.
Kyle Busch sweeps at Chicagoland.
And that was all Kyle Busch right there.
The year of Kyle Busch is set to continue.
Kyle Busch gets the victory, his 8th of the year.
Just because you're thousands of miles from the nearest big league stadium doesn't mean you can't be a big league fan. Majestic Athletic, the official uniform supplier for all 30 Major League Baseball teams. Available now all over Europe at NASN.com.
Franz, happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday Franz Beckenbauer, happy birthday to you. So what would you most like for your birthday?
Well, it would be nice to turn the lights off and bring in a cake, but seriously, if ESPN Classic were to play all the games in my whole career, which were the best ones, that would make me very happy.
And so we make his day with an evening dedicated to the Kaiser at his very best. Happy birthday, Beckenbauer. The 11th of September on ESPN Classic.
On 12th Street, you will find irresistible mac and cheese. Fred Smoot, who went down in a lot of agony before we went to the commercial and took a shot and was rubbing his lower left back, is able to get up and come off the field.
You can see right here as he goes down, he grabs his back. Right there. Now they lose Smoot and Sean Springs. Remember when we talked to him last night, they thought he was going to start, and then he's not even dressed tonight. So Carlos Rogers, our other corner, is coming off a knee surgery. Sean Springs isn't active. Fred Smoot limps off the field.
The safety LaRon Landry didn't play at all. You look at Springs, and now they're going to go to Lee Torrance, 3rd year out of Stanford.
This is a great down, 2nd and 2. This is when you can do anything. It's an excellent play-action pass down.
Baptism by fire for Torrance. There he is, top of the screen. One-on-one with Burris and beginning to back off as Eli will hand the ball off, and this is Ward who will pick up the first down. So they settle for a conservative play call up to the 41-yard line, under 2 minutes now to play in the quarter.
Yeah, because when your offensive line kind of has control the way this Giant offensive line does, you're not worried about leaving 3rd down out there. So if you want to take a shot, 2nd and short is a pretty good time to take that shot.
Kevin Gilbride on the mic into Eli's helmet. 1st and 10 from the 40-yard line. Looked off the screen and goes over the middle and hits Burris. That time Burris lining up on the other side, so the coverage by Dowdy and the linebacker McIntosh. Now a minute to play in the 3rd. As far as the Giants stars tonight, there are the numbers for Manning. 16 out of 30. Jacobs is averaging a stellar 6.6. And Burris, who just recently started practicing full-time, 9 receptions for 120 yards. Big night.
He makes it look easy, doesn't he, Plexico Burris?
2nd down and 1 from the 48. And Manning will throw the ball out in the flat, and that'll be a first down to Hedgecock. And John, we saw him a lot last year. We were amazed that a guy who wouldn't practice all week, and he couldn't practice because of knee and ankle injuries, could be so effective.
Yeah, and he just has a feel for the game. He has a feel for getting open. What they've been doing now, if it's a cover 2, if they have 2 deep safeties, he's running the in and the hook. And then if they go single safety, he's running the out patterns and the fades. And whatever they play, the Giants have an answer for him with Plexico Burris.
No scoring in the 3rd quarter. It remains 16-7 Giants after 3. And this NFL kickoff special from the Meadowlands will continue after these messages from your local NBC station.
College football is back on NASN, and we've got a live interconference matchup. The Sunshine State goes to battle in Gainesville as the Hurricanes and the Gators renew an old rivalry. Live college football, Miami versus Florida, this Saturday, only on NASN.
Mike just watched the way he danced past those 2 blockers. Slam dunk.
ESPN 360. Wherever and whenever you're online, you're at the game.
Going for a 2-point conversion from the 3-yard line. And it's a fake play. They're going to score! Ian Johnson! They rolled the ball to Ian Johnson, and he scored! They left it down on the field. Zabransky faked the pass. Johnson picked up the ball and ran it in for a touchdown. And the Broncos have won the Fiesta Bowl. Can you believe it?
The NFL is back, and NASN brings you a live doubleheader. The Brett Favre era begins for New York as the Jets take on the Dolphins.